the Salvation Army, and this is Go Island. I'm Mary Ruth Harris. You're watching Shaw TV's Channel 4. This is Go Island, and we're on location today at the new Family Services building for the Salvation Army. It has a much longer name than that, but it's a bit of a tongue twister for me. But Brent Hobden, Director of Services, is going to join us later, and he will explain all of it. It's basically the cornerstone of the Comox Valley Salvation Army Services. And they have so many great things in this wonderful new space that's right at the corner of Cliff and 29th. So Target is directly across the street. I don't know if you can see that through the windows with all the gray rain. And we're just up from the light at Cliff. So it's very easy to find. And you should pop in and see what they have to offer. Some great new programs. And if you would like to make a donation of food or clothing, or, well, I guess the clothing goes down the street, but the food or toys for Christmas, wrapping paper, scissors, Scotch tape to do the wrapping with, all of that is more than welcome to be dropped off here. Now, we have a very busy show coming up. We're going to start right here in the Comox Valley. Have a look. I'm Mary Ruth Harris. You're watching Go Island. One of the great new things that they have here at the Salvation Army Cornerstone Community and Family Services building is they have interactive TVs. They have one out here right in the lobby, and they have two in two different classrooms in the back where they run the programs. And so they are able to use these TVs to host sessions from other parts of Canada in the classrooms, or they can put up a listing of all of their current programs. They can put up where people can get information and all kinds of stuff. So it's really cool that they've gone high tech. So that's really neat. Now we're going to head up to Campbell River to have a look at this. I'm Mary Ruth Harris. You're watching Go Island on Shaw TV's Channel 4. We're on location in Courtney at the Salvation Army, and specifically right now we are standing in the Emergency Food Bank room. And joining me is the Director of Family Services, Brent Hobden. So Brent, you're in a beautiful new facility here, and this room in particular is for emergency food services. So how does that work?
Right, families are encouraged to come into the Salvation Army as many times as they really need. And we try to limit that down to 4 or 5 times a year, but we don't turn families away. So they come into the Salvation Army, into Cornerstones, they register, they book an appointment with us. We have them sit down with Colleen, our coordinator, our community services coordinator, and she sits down with the guests, and we go through their needs, and then we bring them back into the food room, and the guest chooses the food that best suits their family.
Oh, okay. Instead of just getting something that's already been pre-prepared, because you don't necessarily know what their needs are. So this way they can be involved in that process.
Absolutely. The Salvation Army is all about dignity. We recognize that there's a lot of food that we could give to a family that just doesn't suit their needs. There could be allergies, there could be just personal choices that they're not interested in. So we want to make sure that the food that the family is getting is what they want and what they can really use. So allowing them to come in and do their own shopping, we've found out that that really benefits those families.
Okay. Now, right now, Courtney in the Comox Valley is having some horrific weather, and I know that there's obviously families that are being impacted by that. And how can the community help the families that are coming to Salvation Army to deal with that?
Well, this Christmas, the Salvation Army will be getting a significant amount of donated food from the community. As you look around in this food room right now, you'll recognize there's a lot of empty shelves. So the food hasn't started to come in yet, but we're pretty confident that it will. So one of the things that they could absolutely do is go into their grocery store, find those items that would benefit their family, the non-perishable items, bring them into the Salvation Army. Maybe you want to pick up, instead of 1 jar of peanut butter, you want to buy 2. And bring one of those jars into the Salvation Army, knowing that it will go to a family in the Comox Valley that's in need this Christmas.
And of course, with school being out for 2 full weeks, there's not the school lunch programs or breakfast programs. So again, families are going to be stretched over that 2-week period where they have to be able to provide sustenance for that entire time.
That's very true, Mary Ruth. That's a really important thing for people to recognize. For most people in the Comox Valley, Christmas is a time of celebration. It's a time when we feast. For many families in the valley, it's not. It's a time of desperation. It's a time of really wondering, where am I possibly going to come up with the extra funds that I need not just to meet the daily needs. We have families that go to school, that they send their children to school in the morning, and that's where they're getting their breakfast.
Right.
You know, we have families that are relying upon the Salvation Army and upon the local food bank in order to make sure that they have what they need in order to put 3 meals onto the table for their family each and every day. Those extra stresses at Christmas just kind of add to that burden and makes it very difficult.
Okay. Now, you're able to stay with us for a little bit longer so we can chat about a few other topics?
Oh, for sure.
All right. We're going to take a short break, but we will be right back. Stay right there. Mary Ruth Harris here for Go Island with Brent Hobden at the Salvation Army. And one of the things, in addition to food, of course, because Christmas is literally around the corner, is donations not only of toys, but of wrapping paper. Because the families that are coming in to choose the toys for their children, they need something to wrap them in. So we need toys from age group 0 to
10.
0
so
to 10. Okay.
Unwrapped Christmas presents is really important.
Okay.
Another of our dignity aspects is to make sure that the parents that are coming in can choose the toys that they believe are suitable for their children.
Okay.
So including things like Scotch tape and wrapping paper and bows and ribbons, wonderful additions so that our families can be recognized as really being valued.
Okay, and they can also go and register at Santa's Workshop. Is that what you?
Absolutely.
Santa's, okay.
Yep, Santa's Workshop is
Santa's
another
Workshop,
one of
okay.
those wonderful organizations that help
Okay.
people in need in the valley with toys this time of year.
Okay, so now the location here is at 29th Street.
Correct.
Okay, so come down to 29th Street, Family Services, and drop off paper, ribbon, tape, scissors,
Unwrapped Christmas toys.
Unwrapped Christmas, that's a tongue twister. Unwrapped Christmas toys for 0 to 10 years old. And then what do you do for 11 to 18?
A little harder to find Christmas presents
Yes.
that are appropriate for that age group. So typically what we've done in the past is give them a $30 gift card, and that's what we're going to do again this year. Usually a Walmart gift card or Superstore, Target, one of those department stores where the teens can go in and choose what it is that they believe is best suitable.
Awesome. Okay, now we're going to take a short break, but we'll be right back. I'm Mary Ruth Harris. You're watching Go Island. Now we're on location in Courtney at the new Cornerstone Community and Family Services for the Salvation Army. If you would like to help out local families this Christmas, this is where you come to drop off your donation of toys or wrapping paper or food. It all comes right here. Where I'm standing, I can see Target, and I'm right across the parking lot from the Great Canadian Oil Change and Touchless Car Wash, right at the corner of 29th and Cliff. So this is where you want to come. They've got a great big huge sign, Cornerstone Community and Family Services, the Salvation Army crest is there. You can't miss it. So please come down and donate because they really need your help. And right now, we're gonna have a look at this. I'm Mary Ruth Harris. You're watching Go Island on Shaw TV's Channel 4. We're on location in Courtney at the new Cornerstone Family Services building for the Salvation Army. Joining me is Brent Hobden. Brent, this time of year, you have your kettles out and around town. How's that going this year?
Going pretty well. They're in about 9 locations around the town.
Okay.
We're down a little bit.
Okay.
Compared to last year, we're down about $1,000 year to date.
Okay, so open your pockets, dig deep, bring out that change. And what about, you also do a mail-in campaign, like people get in the mail, so how's it?
Do. Now, as we mentioned, Christmas is our major time for fundraisers.
Okay.
That mail-out campaign is very key to the Salvation Army.
Okay.
It brings in about $175,000 every year. Right now, we're about $6,000 behind where we were at this time last year. So that's a big concern for the programs that we have operated through this very office.
Now, one of the great things about this new space is that you can have the option of offering amazing programs. You were just telling me about a forklift program. How does that work?
It's great, isn't it? So we've had two different classes now that we've put through. The first one had about 11 students come in. We spent a whole day training them on how to use a forklift, and at the end of the day, they were given their certification so that they can go onto any job site and operate a forklift. It's just an amazing. We even had one person that actually got a job because they had that certification. So it's very exciting for us.
And right now, because trades are in huge demand, and that is considered a trade, maybe one of the more minor ones, but it's still a trade, and you need that certificate. And it is awesome that you're able to offer that here to people that want to be employed. That's fabulous.
We're coming up with a whole bunch more programming ideas.
Okay.
And over the next 4 to 6 months, watch for the announcements coming into your local newspapers through Shaw. We'll be talking a little bit about the different programs that we have available that are coming up, but it is going to take funding, and that's where we need the people in the Comox Valley to step forward and make sure that they're supporting the Salvation Army and this community this Christmas.
Okay, that's awesome. Brent, thanks so much for your time. It's been lovely to be here in your new space. Just fantastic.
Always my pleasure, Ruth. Mary Ruth, thanks so much.
You're very welcome. Have a good Christmas.
Thanks, and Merry Christmas.
All right, and for you, we're going to have a look at this. I'm Mary Ruth Harris. Thanks so much for watching Go Island. We've been on location in Courtney at the new Salvation Army Cornerstone Community and Family Services building. One of the great things I think is so cool, this little cubby is really cool because it gives guest services access to the internet to do resumes or anything else they need to do to look for work or for family services. Now, this new space offers all kinds of programs, so check out their website. Come and talk to them in person. They have a wonderful, great new spacious lobby and a lovely lady sitting at the front desk who would answer all of your questions. The Red Kettle program is on right now. Be generous, and if you get the mailing in your mailbox, fill it out, send it back with a nice big check, because without your donations, they are not able to do all the amazing work that they do in our community. So thank you so much for watching, and I will add that there is salvation services in Campbell River as well as Powell River, so it is not just in Comox Valley. There are all kinds of things coming up this week. It's going to be a very busy week. Stay tuned right here, and of course check out all the event calendars in all of the different communities, Campbell River, Powell River, and Comox Valley. Until then, stay dry.